The year is 1963. In a quiet town in Italy, a dream is unfolding, a dream that would eventually become one of the most iconic brands in the world, Ferrari. Across the Atlantic, an American automaker, Ford, with its sprawling empire and its dominance in the automotive industry, begins to feel threatened by Ferrari's rising status. The stage is set for one of the greatest rivalries in automotive history, a rivalry that would shape the future of car manufacturing and lead to a monumental battle for supremacy, fame, and respect. This is a story of Ferrari and Ford, a rivalry that would span decades, involve high-speed races, breakneck business decisions, and lead to a dramatic clash that forever changed the automotive world. The birth of Ferrari. It all began with one man, Enzo Ferrari. Born in 1898 in Modena, Italy, Enzo Ferrari's passion for racing was ignited at a young age. After a brief career as a driver, Enzo shifted his focus to managing and building racing cars. In 1929, he founded Scuderia Ferrari, a racing team that would later become the foundation of the Ferrari brand we know today. Ferrari's rise to prominence came through a series of victories on the racetrack. By the early 1950s, Ferrari had become synonymous with success, dominating races like the Mille Miglia and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Enzo's cars were not just fast. They were works of art, blending high-performance engineering with an unmistakable Italian flair for design. But Ferrari's ambition went beyond just racing. He dreamed of creating road cars that were as fast, as exclusive, and as beautiful as the race cars. In 1947, Ferrari unveiled its first production car, the 125S. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. With each new car, Ferrari cemented its place as one of the most coveted names in automotive history. The Ferrari brand represented the epitome of luxury, performance, and craftsmanship. The Ford Empire. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Ford Motor Company, founded by Henry Ford in 1903, had become an automotive behemoth. Ford revolutionized the car industry with the introduction of mass production techniques, making cars affordable to the average person. The Model T, introduced in 1908, was a game changer. It sold over 15 million units and made Ford a household name. However, by the 1960s, Ford was facing challenges. The company's focus on mass-produced vehicles had made it the dominant force in the American automobile market, but it lacked a high-end, luxury performance brand to compete with European manufacturers like Ferrari, Porsche, and Lamborghini. This was the missing piece in Ford's empire. That's when Henry Ford II, the grandson of Henry Ford, entered the picture. Ford II recognized that if his company wanted to truly dominate the global automotive market, it needed to make a name for itself in the luxury sports car segment. And there was no greater name in the world of high-performance cars than Ferrari. The battle begins. The rivalry between Ferrari and Ford didn't start out as a competition. It began as a potential business deal. In 1963, Ford sought to acquire Ferrari to bolster its image and expand its product lineup. Ford II, eager to build a sports car that could rival Ferrari, initiated talks with Enzo Ferrari to buy his company. At first, it seemed like a natural partnership. However, Enzo Ferrari had other plans. Although he was open to selling his company, he had one condition. He wanted to retain control over Ferrari's racing operations. Ford, with its deep pockets and ambitious vision, disagreed. Ford II was not willing to accept any limitations on control. After a long series of negotiations, Enzo Ferrari famously rejected the offer from Ford. But there was a deeper reason for his decision. Ferrari was more than just a business to Enzo. It was his legacy, his passion, and his life's work. No amount of money could buy that. The rejection of Ford's offer infuriated Henry Ford II. He was not a man who accepted failure lightly, and he vowed to beat Ferrari at his own game. The stage was set for a rivalry that would go down in history. The GT40. Determined to create a car that could beat Ferrari at the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans, Ford went all in. In 1964, Ford embarked on an ambitious project to build the ultimate race car, the Ford GT40. The goal was clear. Ford wanted to create a car that could dominate Le Mans and prove that American engineering could outshine European rivals. Ford enlisted Carroll Shelby, a legendary American driver and car designer, to lead the project. Shelby, a former Le Mans winner, had the experience and the passion to build the perfect car. Ford poured millions of dollars into the project, assembling a team of top engineers and designers. The Ford GT40 was born. The car was designed to be a masterpiece of speed, power, and precision. It was a low-slung, aerodynamic race car built with cutting-edge materials and a powerful V8 engine capable of speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour. The GT40 was built to take on Ferrari's dominant presence at Le Mans, and it was a car that could win. However, there was a problem. Ferrari was not an easy competitor to defeat. Ferrari's cars were finely tuned, meticulously engineered, and had a long history of success at Le Mans. The battle for supremacy at the 24-hour endurance race would not be won easily. The clash at Le Mans. In 1966, the time had come for the two automotive giants to meet head-to-head at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Ford had developed the GT40 into a formidable competitor, but Ferrari was still the reigning champion, having won the race for the previous 6 years. The stage was set for an epic showdown. The race itself was a battle of attrition. Ford GT40S, driven by a team of elite drivers, fought tooth and nail against Ferrari's seasoned drivers and finely tuned machines. But after hours of intense racing, the GT40S began to pull ahead. The Ferrari team, which had been relying on speed and strategy, faced mechanical issues that prevented them from maintaining their lead. Meanwhile, Ford's strategy was paying off. In the final laps of the race, Ford's cars were in position to sweep the podium. In a dramatic moment that would forever be etched in racing history, Ford took the top 3 spots at Le Mans, with the GT40S finishing in first, second, and third place. Ferrari, once the dominant force at Le Mans, had been dethroned. This victory was not just a win for Ford, it was a symbol of American ingenuity and determination. The rivalry between Ferrari and Ford had reached its zenith, and the victory at Le Mans marked a pivotal moment in the history of both companies. Ferrari's resilience. While the loss at Le Mans was a blow to Ferrari, it did not mark the end of the brand's dominance in motorsport. Enzo Ferrari, ever the fierce competitor, continued to push his company to new heights. Ferrari would go on to dominate Formula One racing for decades, building a legacy that would make the brand synonymous with success, luxury, and performance. Despite the fierce rivalry, there was a mutual respect between Ferrari and Ford. Both companies recognized each other's strengths and achievements. While Ferrari would remain the undisputed king of Formula One racing, Ford's GT40S would forever be remembered as a car that toppled the mighty Ferrari at Le Mans. The legacy of Ferrari and Ford. The rivalry between Ferrari and Ford didn't end with a victory at Le Mans. It continued to evolve over the decades, with both companies pushing the boundaries of automotive engineering. Ferrari would continue to refine its sports cars, making them even more exclusive and performance-oriented. Ford, on the other hand, would focus on expanding its reach, creating performance cars for the masses while maintaining its legacy of engineering excellence. Today, both Ferrari and Ford stand as symbols of automotive greatness. Ferrari is the embodiment of luxury, performance, and exclusivity, while Ford represents American innovation, engineering, and mass-market success. Their rivalry, born out of a fierce business disagreement, has only fueled their growth and success, ultimately shaping the automotive landscape for generations to come. The legacy of Ferrari and Ford's rivalry is one of passion, competition, and innovation. It is a story that continues to captivate car enthusiasts around the world. The competition between these two automotive giants has inspired countless drivers, engineers, and fans to push the boundaries of what is possible both on and off the racetrack. And so, Ferrari versus Ford remains one of the greatest rivalries in the history of motorsport and business, a rivalry that built empires, broke records, and reshaped the world of cars as we know it today. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to check out more thrilling tales of rivalry and innovation. You can also take your passion for cars to the next level by downloading the Car Mania app, where you can experience the thrill of racing and car customization. The link is in the description and pinned comment.